Reynald here, and today I'd like to suggest you read The Return of the Mount Hua Sect. It's a reincarnation manhwa about a man named Cheongmyeong who was a master martial artist of the Mount Hua Sect and was feared across the land as the Plum Blossom Sword Saint, which was one of the three strongest during the time until his death after the final battle against Cheonma of the demonic cult. Instead of death, he found himself reincarnated into the body of a 15-year-old boy a century after the battle, where he found his once renowned sect in complete ruin due to the demonic cult's continuous attacks. This manhwa is his restoration of the Mount Hua Sect to even greater heights and learning from his past mistakes as a sword saint. So, let's get to it. The Return of the Mount Hua Sect original novel was created by Biga and was adapted to webtoon by Studio Lico. The web novel was published on April 25th, 2019, and is still ongoing at about 1,780 chapters across 5 volumes, where it is known as The Return of the Blossoming Blade. The official English translations by Line Webtoon began June 2021. The adaptation as a manhwa to webtoon came out March 23rd, 2021, and it consists of 152 chapters across 2 seasons. The second season just ended on December 3rd, 2024, so I'll be looking forward to season 3 while I read other stories. It's an action manhwa with character building, slight kingdom building, or you can say sect building, and world building. Cheongmyeong has been reincarnated with the same memories as his former self with all of his martial knowledge, and upon discovering the state of the Mount Hua Sect in decline, it gave him a renewed goal to restore the sect to its former glory by training the next generation of disciples, but with a new perspective on life. So, with that being said, let's dive into it a bit. Our main character is Cheongmyeong, the Plum Blossom Sword Saint, who died after his final battle against the demonic cult. But instead of passing away, he reincarnated as a young boy 100 years later. His first thought after reincarnation was to find his renowned sect, but was met with a rundown building in decline, which led him to join and attempt to restore it to its former glory as one of the great sects. He is a carefree, intelligent, and provocative character with a duty to restore the sect. Now, you may think with a title like Sword Saint, he'd be serious, but in reality, he goes against the sect's core teachings with his love for money, alcohol, food, and violence towards others. We get to see him mentally mature as he takes what he knows and reflects on past actions while training the disciples of the sect, and this is where we learn the most about him. While he shows adverse actions, he is truly loyal to his sect and selfless when it comes to taking care of those under the Mount Hua banner. He's a great representation of self-reflection and being able to persevere for the sake of your family, immediate or not. For the side characters, we have the disciples and the leadership of the Mount Hua Sect, as well as the other sect leaders. The main disciples that we get to know are Jeong, a third-class disciple and the current eldest of the new generation, Gil, a third-class disciple and the second son of a merchant family, Yo Isyo, a second-class disciple and the only female martial artist of the sect known as the Ice Sword Plum Blossom due to her expressionless face, and Baek Cheong, a second-class disciple who is viewed as the hope of the sect to restore its glory. And alongside Cheongmyeong, we get to see the background of each character and observe their growth as the story goes. Next, we have our main villain of the story, which is the demonic cult, who was thought to be eradicated after Cheongmyeong's final battle with the leader Cheonma, but as the story progresses, there are indications that show the cult's influence still permeates the land, causing conflict amongst the sects and the people. The other villain would be the other great sects of the world, who we see come into conflict with the Mount Hua Sect due to generational issues of the past, and we see Cheongmyeong deal with them, leading to negative outcomes for them and positive outcomes for him. But there are moments where potential mutual agreement seems to be in reach. Now, I wouldn't consider them evil villains, but they do go against the Mount Hua Sect, whether it be for financial gain, martial prowess, or to simply keep them from operating. Basically, it's business battles, but they have swords. This story develops through the Mount Hua disciples and Cheongmyeong's rise in prominence as he helps revive the sect from ruin. He is viewed as a newcomer, but makes it quickly known that the current ways are ineffective and takes over the third-class disciples in order to teach them the ways of the Sword Saint himself. The disciples are weak and can't compare to the other sects at all, but after training with the Sword Saint, we witness a drastic change in their quality and strength, leading to higher confidence. But even with that change, mentality still takes time. It's like when you're used to being weak but decide to work out, and physically you change, but you still need time to build your mental fortitude. Also, we have to remember Cheongmyeong is now a young child and can't handle everything he's learned, so we get to witness his rise back to power and the new breakthroughs through further enlightenment. He is now living a second life and has a chance to reflect on all his actions. The world itself develops over time, and we see a world after the war with the demonic cult, and how each sect, large or small, has changed and will change through the events of the story, whether it be ally or foe to the Mount Hua Sect. This manhwa is great for those of us who like to see a strong, knowledgeable character train others and actually see them progress as individuals. One of my favorite tropes is disciple training in any story, as it allows the main characters to shine, but let the side characters get in the spotlight, giving readers more to love and learn about. This story is another favorite of mine, and I'm looking forward to seeing the sect reach its former prominence and the expansion of the world through the other sects and key figures Cheongmyeong comes across. It's a great story to invest your time into, and it keeps you pretty engaged. So I'd bookmark it, add it to your reading list, just give it a chance. I want to thank you all for listening, and I hope you enjoy reading this one as much as I have. I'm looking forward to its return with Season 3, and I expect even more development, not only with the Mount Hua Sect, but the world as a whole. With this video, I've now covered my top 3 manhwa, and I plan on covering completed, ongoing, and new stories that I'm either currently reading or I'm planning on reading. I have a long list, so I keep finding time and making videos to hopefully encourage others to join a community of readers. If you have any suggestions yourself, please put them in the comments, and I'll give them a read if I haven't already. Thank you once again, and safe travels.